What's up, everybody? This is 3Kings podcast. This is not first and base. This is a sports discussion that me and Taylor are going to have about the dilemma or the double standard that the black quarterback goes through. This is mostly based off something I saw on Bomani Jones's Twitter page. If you don't know who Bomani Jones is, he's a sports analyst, sports talking head. He's on ESPN Around the Horn a lot. He's also runs articles on SBNation.com, and he also does a podcast, which I think is going on right now, every Monday. So anyway, so the person on his Twitter account, I won't give out the Twitter address because it's stupid, but the person on his Twitter account said that compared to Tim Tebow, Cam Newton is not an intelligent quarterback. Apparently, according to him, Cam Newton's offense is based on a number system, which doesn't fucking matter if everybody gets to the place they're supposed to go anyway.
Exactly.
And Tim Tebow can read a real pro offense. Besides the fact that that statement is inherently false, it brings to light something that I've noticed for a while, is that black quarterbacks are held to a different standard than white quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm. For the most part.
For the most part. Now, let me say this. We're not just going to be two black dudes that act like every black quarterback is treated unfairly. You know, you got Jabba the Russell.
Jabba the Russell. Jamarcus Russell, Jabba the Russell.
There's a reason he's not in the NFL. Vince Young spending $20,000 a week at Cheesecake Factory. Acolyte Smith, Dante Cole. There's some bad black quarterbacks, so let's not say they're all judged unfairly, because some of them just suck. So just like white quarterbacks, some of them just can't play.
If you can't play, you can't play, man.
When you have the ones that can play, and you see the media crucify them or jump on something or use these little keywords that, while it may not be disrespectful in their minds, to everyone else that happens to be black, it comes off as disrespectful. For instance, Andrew Luck this year, I think has 7 or 8 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
But when he's talked about, he's a prototypical in the pocket quarterback, even though Andrew Luck does a lot of running. But then you hear that when they talk about RG3, he's an explosive, athletic weapon at the quarterback position.
Andrew Luck, you hear him saying, Andrew Luck, they say he's a quarterback, he's a true quarterback, but he's nimble with his feet. He has the ability to extend the play and make plays with his feet.
He's just running.
He's just running.
RG3 is running. Same thing with Cam. He's just running. It's comments like that make you think, like, what? Why are we ignoring the white quarterback is very similar to the black quarterback? For instance, in high school, quarterbacks are put in different distinctions when they're recruited. There's either the pro prospect or a pro style.
That's the thing. There's no difference. Like, it's not like, all black quarterbacks just do stuff that white quarterbacks don't. Like, everybody, like, there's no, like, a white quarterback does this, a black quarterback does that. That has nothing to do with it. It's different style. There's nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with it.
There's black quarterbacks that can't run for their life. Byron Leftwich is the slowest person I've ever seen.
Pretty much.
Black, white, Indian, Asian, don't matter. Byron Leftwich is slow. But he's black. But you automatically assume, he's black. He must be able to scramble around. Nope. Byron Leftwich ain't scrambling no damn way.
The total opposite of him. You remember that quarterback that played for Kentucky and the Jones and Jared Lorenzen, 300-pound quarterbacks could run and scramble and do all that. And Byron Leftwich is a big old huge quarterback and can't run a lick. So yeah, man. Race has nothing to do with it.
You see these double standards, these things that are said. Or also, one of the things that bothers me is the quickness to jump upon a problem you see with a black quarterback. For instance, in the case of Cam Newton, because there was a lot of people who thought Cam Newton wouldn't be able to play in the NFL. Like, there's a lot of people that straight out said the Panthers were making a mistake. He's not going to be able to play in the NFL. Blah, 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 blah. Well, that was false. That was completely false. It's been proven that he's going to throw for 4,000 yards 2 straight times, throw for 20-some-odd touchdowns this year, barring him not throwing a touchdown next game, which I think is highly unlikely. He's playing the Saints. And he's going to throw for 4,000 yards in 2 straight years, 20 straight touchdowns. And I think he's halfway to Steve Young's quarterback rushing record. But those same people, because they didn't see him last year, because we live in Carolina, we see Cam Newton's games. That's all. Even when the Panthers were 2-14, we saw all of their games, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So we see all the games. So we saw he was doing really good, but he also had rookie mistakes. But they didn't see that stuff. All they saw were the numbers. So when he got on national television, he had a bad game. As soon as that happened, they jumped on him. Instantaneously, he's a bad teammate. He's not a good teammate.
He can't play.
That. He can't play. But mind you, in the last month, Cam has 17 touchdowns, 2 turnovers. In the last, 7 games or something like that? Yeah, the last seven games. 17 touchdowns, 2 turnovers.
Yeah.
But you're not going to hear that. You're going to hear the narrative from the beginning of the season. You still hear that narrative.
Yeah, exactly.
He can't play. But then you have quarterbacks like Jay Cutler, who's out here throwing a bunch of interceptions, pushing his offensive lineman, has been known to be a terrible teammate, is an overall dig, but he's fiery. That's just Jay Cutler.
He's a gunslinger.
He's a gunslinger, but you get immature, bad teammate for Cam Newton. These double standards,
exactly.
It may not be on purpose, and I'm not saying it's necessarily on purpose.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's necessarily on purpose by the people. It's just what they've been built into thinking, and I think it's very unfortunate. In the case of Tim Tebow, there's been a lot of quarterbacks that are black that couldn't play in a pro offense.
Nope.
Every quarterback that plays at Georgia Tech can't play in a pro offense. Every quarterback that plays at Army can't play in a pro offense. Pat White wasn't a pro quarterback, but you didn't see the same jumping up and down, let's change our offense for Pat White.
But again, Pat White didn't come with the extreme fandom / baggage that Tim Tebow came with.
And that's the thing. Your fandom should have nothing to do with if I put you on my football field. Absolutely not a damn thing. If you can't play, I don't care if everybody in the stadium.
That's the one thing that fans still don't realize. Is like, we're not bagging on Tim Tebow. He's proven in college he was an A1 winner. He's proven in the NFL.
One of the greatest college football players to ever play the game.
He's proven in the NFL that he can actually play in the NFL. He's a good athlete. He's a leader. He does have the intangibles. You know what I mean? He's not gonna give up. He's not gonna sulk. He's gonna keep going forward. He's a good-hearted, talented football player. He just isn't an NFL starting quarterback for a franchise. Like, so you really want Tim Tebow to be the quarterback of your franchise for the next 10 years, like Tom Brady was for the Patriots. You want him to be your franchise quarterback for 10 years. If he's never going to throw better than he's doing right now, that's what you want.
And if you say yes, let me let you know, 47.9% completions. 47.9. That is less than half. That is unacceptable.
He was so clutch last year, and they won 8 games. I understand that.
The Broncos won 8 games.
Exactly. The Broncos as a team won 8 games. Without Willis McGahee's 1,200 yards rushing, do they have 8 wins? Be honest with yourself.
Or Elmer's doing well. Von Miller out here making great plays. Demaryius Thomas taking Tim Tebow's terrible ass passes and turning them into touchdowns.
Like, he's gonna bring up
Decker.
He beat the Steelers. He
threw a slant. He threw a 10-yard slant
with the DB.
And Demaryius Thomas ran 80 yards.
With the DB off by 10 yards. If you can't complete that, you shouldn't be playing. You should be playing high school football. Yeah.
See, but this is the thing to me. A lot of people. Doug Williams was the only black quarterback, the first black quarterback and the only black quarterback to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Hasn't been one to win it yet.
Yeah.
There's been some there. Donovan McNabb, who probably should have won that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know, there's been some quarterbacks there. But what I'm hoping is this new crop of quarterbacks. Kaepernick, Russell Wilson, Cam, RG3. Who am I leaving out? I'm leaving somebody out. Colin Kaepernick, RG3, Russell Wilson, RG3. Who am I leaving out? I think Geno Smith is going to be good.
Yeah, Josh Freeman, Russell.
He's not throwing $1 billion.
Stop slandering him.
He's not throwing $1 billion.
Stop slandering him, bro.
Way too many interceptions.
Stop slandering him. Cam had 18 last year, and he ain't bagging on his ass. Anyway.
Dude. He was a rookie. Josh Freeman had 26 last year in his third year. 26 interceptions.
Whatever.
That's ridiculous.
Brett Favre had 20-something picks when he was 30-something years old. So what?
Yeah, well, he was Brett Favre. But anyway.
Racism.
But no, but this is the thing. I hope these 6 dudes, plus Geno Smith, who's coming in next year, change the mind of people with black quarterbacks. Because I can completely see RG3 and Cam and maybe Russell Wilson all win the Super Bowl at some point. I can legit see those 3 win a Super Bowl at some point. Like, yeah, Colin Kaepernick may win this year.
But again, but you know what's funny about, especially like Russell Wilson, like even when Russell Wilson was at NC State, you could already kind of see that he like has what it takes to play. It's like if he was taller,
even though he's short.
I'm saying if he like when he was at NC State in Wisconsin, weren't you watched me be like, damn, he can play. Like, you know, like that, he can really play quarterback.
That was so crazy to me. Like, I would watch Russell Wilson like, damn, that boy is nice. Bro,
he just short. That's it.
30 touchdowns and 2 picks at NC State.
Exactly.
NC State. What is NC State doing? In anything. He was nice. And then in Wisconsin, he was out there balling. Like, you just saw him like, dude, if this dude was 6'3", like,
bro,
it wouldn't even be a question.
If he was 6'2", 6'1",
it wouldn't even be a question. He would have been the first top 10 pick.
Exactly.
But he was 5'10", and he out here balling. Colin Kaepernick surprised me because he played in the Pistol in college, and it's somewhat shocking to me that he's as good as he is. But you know, that is what it is.
I mean, it's not shocking from an ability standpoint because he always could throw. He always had a cannon. He always was an athletic.
Yeah, he could throw, but when you play in a pistol, it's not even a spread. It's a little bit different. Normally, you don't see a pistol quarterback make that transition. That's all I'm saying.
The 49ers aren't running the pistol offense. They have, wrinkles they throw in the pistol. They don't run the pistol offense.
That's all I'm saying. Like, it surprises me that he was able to acclimate into a normal offense from running strictly pistol.
Well, he should have been. He's been in the league for 3 years, man.
2. This is the second year. But you see these quarterbacks, Geno Smith. And Geno Smith ain't running no damn where. Like, Geno Smith can run. You don't ever see him run, though.
Pocket passer.
He throws from the pocket. Teddy Bridgewater, who I think is one of the most underrated college quarterbacks, who is going to be a pro, because Teddy Bridgewater can play at Louisville. I was watching a Louisville game when they were playing Pitt, and all I kept hearing was, he's a dual-threat quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater doesn't move. Teddy Bridgewater stands in the pocket and throws passes. I've never seen Teddy Bridgewater run.
Now, if anybody's a dual threat quarterback, it's the guy from Ohio State. He might be the epitome of what a dual threat quarterback looks like.
He's a dual threat quarterback. Like if I watch them and they're like, oh, he's a dual threat, I can legit nod my head and be like, yeah, that's a dual threat quarterback. That right there is a dual threat quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
Geno Smith, Teddy Bridgewater, they ain't dual threats. They ain't going nowhere. They ain't no need to. They throwing from the pocket, and that's what bothers me about the distinction in high school when you have that dual threat pro style. Just because I run a 4.40 don't mean I'm trying to run. Not everybody has the ability that Vic or Cam or RG3, that innate ability to be able to run. Not every quarterback that's fast has that ability to run. They just don't, because they don't see the field the same way they do.
Exactly.
And you legit see when Cam and RG3 take off the run.
Yeah.
More Cam than RG3. He's trying to get as many yards as he can, and then Cam will fall down and he's been shot.
Yeah.
RG3 needs to learn to do that because RG3 going to end up getting his ACL blown up or something.
Don't say that, man.
Doing all these backflips and shit in the air. I'm just saying, he needs to learn how to slide.
That's his swag, man. If he want to get hurt, let him get hurt.
He's going to be swagged out right on the sideline.
Man, no, RG3 is going to be what Michael Vick should have been. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'll say this little thing about Mike Vick. Mike Vick should have never been drafted number 1. If you look at Mike Vick's stats in college, Mike Vick in 2 years as a starter threw 20 touchdowns as a starter.
See, but
because they weren't even trying to hear that passing noise with Mike Vick.
That's misleading because look what Virginia Tech was back then. They were about running the football back then and playing defense and blocking kicks.
The football back then. It wasn't necessarily running it was about him running the football.
They had good running backs back then. Like they were about running the football, blocking punts with Frank Beamer, and they were about that type of playing. They weren't about throwing the ball 50 times.
I'll just say this: when Vic came out, he was not prepared for a pro offense.
He wasn't.
He was not prepared for pro offense. That's all I'm saying. Like he just wasn't. He wasn't better.
All the guys, the NFL saw two things: he was fast as hell, and he had a human cannon for an arm. That's it.
Yeah, and if under a better coach that was actually going to make Vic do shit, because it was obvious that early in Vic's career, Vic wasn't giving a damn about your playbook, like a single fuck about your playbook.
Mr. Dan Reeves, but yeah.
He'd look at the playbook, throw it in the trunk, and go play Madden. These are Vic's words. These are Vic's exact words. So unless you had a coach that was actually going to make him do something, because Vic could have developed something far better than what he's developed into, but that's beside the point.
Remember, dude, look when he first got the chance to start with the Eagles, like he was killing under Andy Reid,
and then he kind of reverted back to what he was.
Well, I don't think it's just that. I think it's a combination of things. Like there's
a combination of things. Once you know offensive line.
Once you know you're not going to get blocked for, and like they just like LaShawn McCoy just came on the scene last year. So I mean, like he just came on the scene, but but
like I was saying, there's a lot of double standards for the black quarterback. There's a lot of underhanded talk, a lot of side jabs. You hear, oh, he's selfish. Oh, he's about himself because he celebrates. He's immature because he celebrates the end zone. Mm-hmm. Even though you got Aaron Rodgers out here doing the belt, and he was doing that before he won the championship, and when they were 6-10, because the first year that Aaron Rodgers started, they were 6-10, and he was doing the belt. But you don't hear that saying. You didn't hear that saying, oh, he's doing that Superman. He shouldn't do that because his team is losing, or no, his team has a losing record. No, I mean, scoring in the NFL is hard. Very, very hard. I'd celebrate too.
I mean, but they always have gotten on the African American player for celebrating, and it's always them. They're like, they don't care. They don't act like they've been there before. Man, it's a game. People get so wrapped up in. I don't think she did that. You're not him. So shut up. Like if dude wants to go and do the goddamn electric boogaloo in the end zone, let him do the electric boogaloo. Like for real. Like what is he killing you doing the electric boogaloo in the end zone? You know what I mean?
And my whole thing is, if you don't like it, have your team stop it.
Exactly.
But that's all I have to say. Like it's just when you guys watch ESPN.
He's showing up the other team. Stop him then. He won't be doing it anymore. Stop him.
First of all, it's not showing up the other team. Like, that's not what it is. Like, I doubt Cam Newton's out here like, I'm doing the Superman because I scored on you. Like, it doesn't matter. Like,
he's doing it because he scored, period.
He ain't got no problem with who he scored on. He just
scored. If he was to do that and then go, like, stand in the middle of, Dallas' field on Star and be like, yes. Then I say knock him out. Yeah. Then I say knock him out.
But that's my whole thing. Like, it is unfortunate that we have come so far.
Which is one more thing, which is also to prove how fickle NFL fans are, because T.O. did that and then signed with the Cowboys, and you never heard about it ever again. He's a Cowboy now. You know what I mean?
We're gonna forget about him just disrespecting the shit out of us.
Exactly.
We're gonna forget about that.
Exactly.
But and he did it with the Eagles too. He disrespected the shit out of them when he was with the Eagles.
Yeah, he did.
Just disrespecting the fuck out of them. But anyway, it also shows you how little fans know about football. When I get on these forums or I get on these different websites and I read the comment section and people are like, oh, cut Cam Newton. He's not good. And we're focusing a lot on Cam Newton mostly because, first of all, we live in Carolina or South Carolina. And also, he's the main black quarterback this year that's got this hyper criticism, like this super duper over the top, like calm down a bit criticism.
Yeah.
But when you read like some of the stuff that's said about him, like, oh, we don't like the way he celebrates. That's immature. Oh, the Panthers have been better off not drafting him. Really? Jimmy Clausen, you want that? You want another year of that? You want another year of Jimmy Clausen?
Well, they're gonna say they should have waited and got Andrew Luck. I'm like, yeah, okay. I mean, whatever.
that also bothers me, and I'll say this: when Andrew Luck was coming out, you still hear people like, "Oh, if Andrew Luck and Cam Newton, with everything being equal, you know that Cam Newton can play in the league. I would have drafted Andrew Luck."
Here's my thing. But I have to defend a little bit. They're saying in the long run. They're not saying the same thing about Cam. Here's the thing.
I think they'll both be very good in the long run. I think they'll end up playing each other in the Super Bowl.
Here's my thing. I can see them both being great at doing it differently. Like, I'm not saying that, even though I'm a Cam Newton fan, I'm not saying he's going to be like just far and ahead better than Andrew Luck. I actually think Andrew Luck's going to ball versus. Cam Newton's going to do it a different way. That's all I'm saying. He's going to do it a different way. That's what I'm saying.
This is what I'm saying. And no disrespect to Andrew Luck. I think Andrew Luck is going to be a very good quarterback.
I think Luck's going to be a great quarterback, actually.
Yeah, but I think both Cam and RG3 both have the potential to be all-time special. Like all-time.
I think Luck can be that. But I think Luck can do that,
but they're going to do it a little bit different. Like, I think Cam.
That's all I'm saying, though. That's all I'm saying.
Touchdowns, point blank, period. Like, there's a distinct possibility Cam could have 30 passing touchdowns and 30 rushing touchdowns in the season. Like, that's not even out of the question. Like,
that should never happen, by the way. Being a Panthers fan.
But you realize it's probably going to happen because they give no damns about giving the ball to Cam at the 1 yard line and just having to run it.
If it happens next year, I want to have a coup with Jerry Richardson and get him out of here if that happens again.
No. If it happens next year, I have no problem if they're in the playoffs. I have no problem if we get them to the playoffs and Cam ain't like dead. I have no problem.
But
if they do that shit and they ain't in the playoffs, and he's got all these numbers, all y'all motherfuckers need to be fired.
Gone.
There ain't no reason that should be happening unless you win a game. Unless you winning the game that he's running all these.
You want to know something else? Like, how people talk about Cam Newton and the way he kind of acts when they lose or whatever, the way he did, and the way they say black quarterbacks sometimes, like certain black quarterbacks do things on the field, like, that wouldn't be like, acceptable. Let's take a case here. What people don't tend to talk about, and he gets like positive feedback for doing it. You ever seen the way Tom Brady acts on the field sometimes?
Like a dick?
Like that, he gets praise for that. If other quarterbacks did that, they'd be getting killed on ESPN Monday.
Let me give you an example of what Tay is talking about. The year they went undefeated, they played the Steelers. And I forget I don't even think this corner is with the Steelers anymore.
Yeah.
He said, we're going to beat them.
Yeah.
They score. Tom Brady goes and finds this dude who was on the other side of the field and gets in his face. But that's fire from Tom Brady. If
Cam Newton does it, well, it's because he has Super Bowl, so he gets a pass or some shit. Whatever.
You don't get to pass that like an asshole. Like, Tom Brady, when they play the Jets, it's been reported, will yell random obscenities over to the Jets line. And me personally, I have zero problem with it. But if you're gonna look at it that way, for him,
it's fire from Tom
Brady. Does it? Yeah, this weekend with Cam. Now, outside of the yelling at the referee, I think that was a bit much. But the little scrum they got in with the Raiders players,
I
ain't see a damn thing wrong with that. There was nothing wrong with that.
It's football, man.
It's football. This dude is laying on Cam Newton's knee. That's kind of important to him. Kind of need those. Cam kicks him, gets up, and gets in his face. I ain't got no problem with that.
I'll make another kind of similar comparison. It's not as overtly violent as the other guy, but let's take Sue. The way he is at other players.
I got no problem with Sue.
No, I'm just saying, Tom Brady goes and searches out people to go yell obscenities at on the field in front of the referees. No kind of flags, by the way. There's no flags being thrown because he is Jesus' embodiment on the NFL field. But people who didn't know that. Tom Brady did die for your sins. Base Brady. Exactly. Tom Brady rose on the 12th day, not the 12th day. Because he was number 12. He rose on the 12th day.
With 3 rings.
Ain't it? The shroud of Brady, guys.
But that's the thing with Tom. Tom Brady will do something like that, but you get Sue breathes on you wrong. He's the dirtiest player in the league. Man, I love Sue, man. If Sue was on the Panthers, that'd be beautiful. If he was on the Panthers, that'd be absolutely beautiful. I don't care how many people Sue kicks in the balls, how many quarterbacks he power drives. I don't care. That man putting fear in
hypocritical, like
eyes.
the players that played during the 60s and 70s, some of the hypocritical, well, we never did that. You poke people in the eyeball. Like, what you poke them in the eye in the line. Like, what are you talking about?
You had Deacon Jones over here smacking people upside the head.
Like, at least Deacon Jones and Jack Tatum admit they tried to hurt people. You know what I mean? Like, just admit what you were trying. Bill Romanowski is a lame. He's just a lame. We never did that when I was a player. You punched your own teammate in the face and cracked his nose.
First of all, Bill Romanowski is one of the biggest liars, racists, and psychopaths that ever played sports. If you know nothing about Bill Romanowski, first of all, he spit in the player's face and called him a nigger. On the football field, he broke his own teammate's jaw, was on steroids, and now he all of a sudden he's not. I never did steroids. I was a clean player. It trips me out watching ESPN and nobody calls him on this shit. Like, but dude, this is something that happened. Like,
no. Ben, he has 2 Super Bowl rings though, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't count.
I don't care how many Super Bowl rings you spit in a black man's face and called him a nigger on the football field. That's the reason to get shot. That's the reason to lose your life.
But yeah, man, it's just like going back to the Tom Brady. Listen, I'm not hating on Tom Brady. Tom Brady's top 3 quarterback in the NFL. Top 3, top 5, whatever you want to put him at. He's great.
Maybe he's top 2. He's amazing.
He's an all-time Hall of Famer. But you can't let him get away with things acting like an asshole out there on the field. And other quarterbacks get killed for smaller stuff. And he's searching out people. Oh, Tom Brady is cool. Because people, Tom Brady would get his face punched in, and this happened off the field. Who wins in a fight between Tom Brady and Antonio Cromartie from the hood from Dade County?
Antonio Cromartie stick his 14 kids on him.
And Antonio Cromartie's 6'5", 215 pounds. All muscle, no brain. You know what I mean?
Just whoop up all Brady. But that's the thing I dislike is like when black quarterbacks do something, it's
black players in general though. Because
black.
Look at the whole Brett Favre sexual thing. We sent pictures of the old girl and all that. Imagine if that was Mike Vick. Just imagine for a minute that Mike Vick or Cam Newton. Bro, do you know the outrage?
Dude, if Cam Newton was out here sending pictures of his junk to women, there'd be picket signs outside Panther Stadium. First of all, we live in the Bible Belt, first of all. So if he's doing that, there's going to be so many angry people. That's against the Lord. Get the hell out of the way. Cam Newton trying to get some tail. All Brett Favre was trying to do was bone that chick who wasn't even all that attractive. That's all he was trying to do.
So that's why Cam Newton smiled all the damn time. Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, this is double standard. Like, no, it ain't even got to be Brett Favre sending pictures of his dick. If a black player does what Brett Favre did to the Packers, I'm gonna retire. No, I'm not. I'm gonna retire. No, I'm not. I'm gonna retire. No, I'm not.
You should leave teams.
Do you know how badly he would be killed? Do you know how badly
he'd be killed? Let's not make a LeBron comparison now. Let's not do that. Because we can do that too.
LeBron was a free agent. Brett Favre was still in the contract. I don't want to play. No, I do. I don't want to play. Dude, exactly. Brett Favre was out here stunting Aaron Rodgers' growth. That's what Brett Favre was out here trying to do. He was out here like, Aaron Rodgers ain't taking my spot. I'm going to be on this field. And so the Packers was like, dude, we're just going to cut you. Because you out here looking stupid. We're just going to cut you.
I didn't see anybody burning Brett Favre jerseys.
Nope. But you saw people threatening Aaron Rodgers. Like, same thing with LeBron. LeBron was a free agent. He had no contract. Just decided to go to Miami. Now, should he done the decision? No. But he also raised $2 million for the Boys and Girls Club. We forget that.
Of course they did.
Should he have done the decision?
Because nobody cares.
He should have done the decision. What? And he didn't slave. He ain't got to stay in Cleveland.
He owes y'all nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I know this being about a black quarterback, but just being a black athlete in general, like there's some things they get judged for that for a fact if that was Tom Brady, they wouldn't get judged for because he's Tom Brady and he's got umpteen Super Bowl rings.
Also,
or
just the last thing we're gonna hit. Tim Tebow and his religion. The fact that so many people are so hype about Tim Tebow's religion confuses me. Is he the first religious football player? Is he the first religious quarterback?
No, he's not.
No. Not at all. Cam Newton's dad is a preacher. Charlie Ward is a preacher now. Brandon Cunningham was extremely religious.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them, but seems like Tebow is out here just being super religious by himself. Nobody else got a religion.
It's because he's white, man.
Nobody else out here got like 1,001 Christians like, free Tebow! They're doing him wrong because he's his religion. Nah, they ain't got nothing to do with religion. He can't play football. He can't play
nothing to do with his religion. The religion part only comes into play when you keep on backing on that as a reason to why he's not playing. The religion part has nothing to do with it. The only time the religion part comes into play is when his fans bring it up. Because Tim, you notice Tim doesn't really bring it up he doesn't really bring it up.
Unless you ask him, he ain't bringing it up.
Exactly.
Unless you ask him, Tebow, about it. Now you ask him,
he'll tell you all day long.
But if you don't ask him, he ain't gonna say nothing about it.
His fans are the ones.
His fans out here. Because he's a Christian, no. It had nothing to do with his religion. Because if I'm his coach, I can give a Christian. You worship a napkin. Peyton Manning a Christian. Phillip Rivers is just as big as Christian as Tim Tebow.
Exactly. But he can play. But he can throw.
He got 1,000,001 kids.
But he can throw.
But he can throw. Now, he used to be able. Phillip Rivers still out here throwing.
Mind you, he has no wide receivers, but yeah, true that. And no running back.
This is true.
Go ahead.
This is true. This is true. But he ain't played good this season at all.
True.
But regardless. But you don't see this. Like, it's like Tim Tebow has this following that seems to misunderstand how football works. They seem not to understand that practice is important. They seem not to understand that actually play on the field is a big deal.
See, it's actually because, I'm not saying all, but a large portion of his fans weren't born to his fandom out of football. They were born out of his fandom because he's a religious person who happened to be famous for playing football.
Exactly. And when you come at it from an angle that's not football related, you end up looking like a jackass because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, there was a dude at my job that was like, yo, they should play Tebow. And I was like, yeah, but he's not a good quarterback. Or you're just saying that because, well, his religion. No, not a good quarterback.
Watch the tape.
Where's a napkin? I don't. Like,
watch the tape.
You watch the games I did?
Bruh,
this dude was throwing balls at people's feet. Like,
I don't care if he builds a gum statue of Mr. Hanky the Christmas Pooh in his closet. And worships that. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if he takes out a blood seal and carves a picture of Jay-Z and worships it with sixes around in the room. Which I don't care. Like, I don't care what he does. I don't care what you do when you leave the field. I don't care. As long as you're not molesting children, I don't care.
Exactly. Like, if you on that field and you can play, no one cares about it. Dude, first of all, they don't even really care if you molesting children. Because if you molesting children, you get off. If you can play, you won't be in the NFL. It's that simple.
True.
The NFL will make, if you can play, the NFL will make a place for you. You will be on somebody's team. Mike Vick was out here killing dogs.
Which also I don't care about.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about that either. I mean, I got a dog, and I still don't particularly care that he was killing dogs. I got a dog. I love dogs. I just don't care that he was fighting pit bulls. That's just me. I've actually seen a dog fight. It just doesn't bother me. Maybe that makes me a sick, heartless bastard.
It pretty much
come
does.
Catch me. What's up, Peter? What's up? Make dragging on the floor.
They gonna be at your door with them AKs on deck. Choppers on deck.
Just mad. And I'm gonna go eat some Kentucky Fried Cruelty, as y'all call it. My ex was a vegetarian, so I know all about that kind of stuff. But I don't care about that kind of stuff. But yeah, just to close this out, watch for the key words, people. Athletic and explosive weapon. Notice how it's only black dudes that are athletic and explosive.
And then also notice how when stuff goes down, also notice what they say in comparison to what they say to other quarterbacks who are white. Just notice. That's all I'm saying. Just notice. We're not two black guys saying everything is racist, everything is against the black. No, we're not saying that because it's false.
Yeah, what I'm saying is watch out for the double standard. There are black quarterbacks. There'll be black quarterbacks. Logan Thomas, for example. Everything you hear about him not being able to read a defense, that's true. That's straight up true. He black, can't read a defense to save his life.
Very true.
That's going to be completely true. But if you hear them say Geno Smith is dual threat, that's a key word because Geno Smith don't run shit. He don't run anywhere.
Yeah.
So But that about wrap this up. Just watch out for the double standard, people. But yeah, hit us up with your comments on this. I think this is a very good discussion. So hit us up with your comments on this, and
like, comment, subscribe. Hit us up on the YouTube channel.
Like, comment, subscribe.
3Kings discussion video. Pressure on the Black quarterback. Hit us up on Twitter.
Yup. But that'll be it, huh?
Yep. Yeah. 3Kings podcast discussion video. Pressure on Black quarterback. Like, comment, subscribe. We out. Job of the Russell.